Hello followers, we are back for another living room vlog because I didn't finish my vlogs before leaving. But I've actually just hit my camera roll and turns out I have already recorded these, or half recorded them, but they're far too long, so I'm gonna try and make them a little bit shorter. So this one is our final port day, which is the day that we were in British Columbia, to Victoria, Canada, and then disembarkation. So sad times and travel home. Also, what is very sad, I am going to say this, I think the tiny microphone has died a death. I dropped my phone with the transmitter in the bottom and it's like bent it all. I'm like, I think this is an excuse to invest in something a little bit better than my TikTok shop microphone. So yeah, anyway, Canada Day, yeah, so Victoria, British Columbia, whatever you want to call it. That day was mostly spent packing. I did spend most of the day sort of either recovering from the glow party, packing my case, or then, yeah, packing my case, I guess. So I think what's worth saying is that the day that we were in British Columbia, Victoria, I don't even know what to call it. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. So the day that we were in that port, the like port time wasn't actually until the evening. But what I would say is that your case also had to be, like, for them taking your case away, had to be out by 9 p.m, which for me was really unusual because, like, usually on like a more like a UK line or even MSC, it's normally much later, like it's like bedtime. And 9 p.m is not my bedtime. So yeah, it was a bit strange. So I had to be all packed and ready and stuff before that. So that's why I did a lot of packing earlier. But I would say the activity on that day that I kind of did was in the afternoon, and that was the solo speedway. So I mentioned and showed some clips in one of the previous vlogs that Norwegian Bliss has a go-kart track on the ship, which is pretty cool. The first ship I've been on that has a go-kart track. But as part of the many things that NCL does for their solos, one of the things is that on your final sort of day, they will run a specific session on the go-karts for solos, and they run at half price. So it was $7.50, which is nothing, you know, it's like a fiver. So go on the go-karts and have a little race between each other. So solo host Doron did film some of it for us while we were on them. So I've got some clips so I can put them in here.
Wave. Do it. Do it.
Red. Oh,
Give a wave.
cheers. It's red go. No, red.
Give a wave. Give a wave.
Then after the Soul Speedway, it was dinner time, which was buffet time. Although I feel like I've said I went to the buffet 2 nights in a row, and I don't know if I did, but who knows. And then it was the port time. So for the port, for that one, I will say, getting off the ship, I'm sure I said one of the other days that getting off the ship was chaos. That evening was chaos. So we were queuing on deck 5 and we went relatively early to get off the ship. Now, by the time that they actually started letting people off, the queue was literally the entirety of deck 5 looped like one way, then looped back on itself, and then the entirety of deck 5 back on itself, then up the stairs at one side, up the stairs somewhere else. It was wild, but there wasn't even any staff like controlling it or anything like that. And so the passengers were all getting annoyed at each other because people were queue skipping, and it was like, oh, we'll just keep going until we get off. So we were in part of the queue that was actually relatively organised. So we were before it looped back on itself and stuff. So anyway, got off the ship, and the excursion that I had picked for that one, because you only had about 3 hours in the port, so it was a walking tour that I had picked, and you get, if you get the More at Sea package, you get your $50 per excursion credit. And for the likes of this one, so the British Columbia, Victoria port, the walking tour is under the $50, so it was essentially free. And I thought, oh, you know what, if it's rubbish, I'll just, or if whatever, I don't want it, I just won't go, sort of thing, because I wasn't paying for it. So but yeah, we went on it, and it was fine. It was a walking tour, so we saw lots of bits and pieces, so I'll put some photos in and things. I would say the most notable piece, and probably the piece that everybody would think about when they think about this port, is the Parliament building, which is all lit up and very pretty. So yeah, that's probably the main focus of the photos, Parliament building and the fountain and things. So yeah, so that was nice. And then came back, met the I'm calling them the young solos. There was different groups of solos, but one of the groups was closer to my age. So met the young solos for sort of our last kind of farewells before disembarking, which was quite sad. It's like, oh, I enjoyed meeting this group, like I really did. So met them for sort of the last farewells, and then headed off to bed. Next thing you know, up the next day for disembarkation. Now, disembarkation day, I would say, was a little bit interesting. So the disembarkation time that I got was 9 a.m. I got a brown luggage tag. So you get different coloured tags for like putting on your luggage and things based on what embarkation time, or disembarkation time, sorry, that you're given. So ours was brown. Well, I'll say ours, mine was brown, which was 9 a.m. However, when they were calling the colours and stuff for disembarkation over the PA system, mine was done at 8 a.m. now, or just after 8 a.m. Sorry, it was like 10 past 8 or something. And I thought, oh, I was about to go for breakfast. Like have like, you know, 40 minutes or something of like breakfast and head off the ship. But that didn't happen. I thought, I wasn't really sure. I wasn't sure, can I still go at 9? Do I need to go now? Or I didn't really know. Because I had a transfer to the airport, it was like, right, I'm just going to go now, just in case. So I just left and went to the airport, which I would say was a lot of sitting about. Now, there is an excursion that you can do on the final day if your flight was 4 p.m. or later. Now, my flight was at 3:45 p.m. and they wouldn't let us do it. So never got to do that. But it was just to go around Seattle and like see the Space Needle and stuff. But yeah, there are options. I would say there are options if you have a later flight to sort of go to the airport and stuff. The rest of the vlog is going to be a bit wobbly because my gimbal's just run out of battery. So there are options to get to the airport and come back if you wanted to spend time in Seattle and things like that, but you would need to do left luggage. Like you would need to find somewhere to leave your luggage. Just because I wasn't really familiar with it and I didn't want to take any chances, I just hung about at the airport for a while, which was a long wait, I would say, because before check-in at Seattle, there is no seating. There was loads of people just sat on the floor, going about. So there is seating if you're across in like the car park area and like the taxis and the drop-off points and stuff. So before you actually come into the check-in area, there is seats there. But when you come in down there's like 5 or something bits, like lanes to come in, depending on like what airline you're with. Before you actually come into the physical airport building, that there's only seating before you come in. Once you're in at the check-in desks, there's nothing until you're through security. So think carefully about where you want to position yourself before coming into the airport. But yeah, so a bit of a long wait. We did go and get myself and someone else that was on the same flight, so we did go and get a drink and stuff. Because there's a couple of places that you could go, but there's hardly any seats in them at all, so you kind of have to park yourself and wait. But drop the cases off, then through security, and then there's loads of seating and places to eat and stuff after that. Now, I was very fortunate in that one of the other solos, who is US based, had lounge access and could take people in for free. So I got a fun little trip to the airport lounge at SeaTac Airport, which there's some filming and stuff to come from the vlog recording in the airport lounge. I might put a little clip in here just for fun. We're vlogging. I have peasant transport. This one has first class transport.
I'm flying first class, she's not first class.
But scrounging is lounge access, so
Yeah.
no complaints. Oh my god, look who it is.
Let me get.
Talking about the lounge here. Well, we're in the Club SEA here in Seattle Tacoma International Airport.
Your first class.
Well, not exactly, because I'm in the special area, but there's a first class to the special area. You can,
Oh.
I don't know if it'll follow behind me. That's actually the first class of the first class.
I will link Rob's vlog somewhere on my social media when he posts it, because his will be much better than mine. It's quite funny. It was really good fun. So it was nice to kind of have another little bit of time with Rob and Tyler, who were two solos that I met on the ship, because their flights were later as well. So it was nice to have that extra little bit of time with them. But yeah, then after that it was home time. So I got my flight back via Reykjavik, and then had to travel back up from Manchester to Glasgow to Dundee, and then my dad came and picked me up in Dundee. I slept most of the way. I watched nothing. I think I edited a video and that was it. As I say, I was quite unwell when I came back. I didn't think I was very ill until when I woke up Monday morning and needed to work. And I thought, oh no, I've got the cruise lurgy again. It wasn't good. So yeah, a couple of really, really rough days. And then ended up back in the office later in the week, and I'm still not feeling 100%. I always come back with the cruise bug, but I'm mostly over it. So that's it. Alaska's done. Time for the next one. So I'll like post more videos and stuff, just as I like more photos and stuff once I process some of the other little clips and the photos and stuff that I've got. But I wanted to just keep an account of the things I got up to and how I felt about them as the cruise went on, because this was quite a big one for me. But yeah, it was good fun. And next up, so in 6 weeks time, 6 weeks and 2 days, I will be embarking on Ambassador Ambition from Bristol. So a very different cruise, but I'm doing Norwegian Fjords for 14 nights, which I've been to Norway on Ambition before and had a lovely time. So I'm really looking forward to cruising with Ambition, cruising on Ambition again. So it's a much, much, much smaller ship, totally different vibe, but I am really looking forward to it. So next vlog will be coming from Norway, and a more local cruise. But I hope you enjoyed the Alaska vlogs. My first attempt. It's all a bit of nonsense. But yeah, here's to the next vlogs from Norway.